very excited. Oh, we did make some changes to the Tatiana. We thought it was a bit too fast yesterday. It was pretty fast. So it was more difficult to get my words around and my voice to kind of sound like my voice in it. So we're gonna take a tiny bit slower today with tempo because it felt a bit rushed. So that's the only change. Feel good. I'm excited for today.
Die heutige Soiree des Opernstudios ist eines von 2 bis 3 Konzerten im Jahr, wo das Opernstudio sich selbst ausschließlich mit seinen eigenen Protagonisten dem Publikum vorstellt. Wir haben ein ziemlich treues Stammpublikum eigentlich und das Besondere ist dann tatsächlich, dass die Leute dieses Mal 4 neue Sänger kennenlernen und dann vielleicht im Mai bei der nächsten Soiree merken, wie haben die sich in dem halben Jahr entwickelt, so wie zum Beispiel jetzt eventuell bei Nombolelo.
I was in the children's choir, youth choir, school choir. So music per se was always something that was very instilled from a very young age. Taking classical music seriously, I only started doing that after high school. When I realized maybe I'm good at this. Maybe I can try, maybe get some education, get some training on it. And that's how everything kind of happened. So I ended up in Frankfurt because of a competition that I entered in 2019. I applied for the Neue Stimme competition here in Germany, and I was lucky enough to be heard by Mr. Loebe, and he just gave me the card and said, call me if you want to come to the opera studio, just come. This was even before the semifinals or finals. So already before I had even gotten far in the competition, he had taken a liking to me, and that's how I got to Frankfurt.
Das Opernstudio haben wir 2008 gegründet, das heißt, das ist jetzt schon 15 Jahre hier am Haus etabliert. Im Opernstudio sind im Moment 6 Sänger. Wir können bis zu 8 Sänger aufnehmen ins Opernstudio, mehr hatten wir noch nie. Die Sänger sind 1 Jahr lang im Opernstudio mit der Option auf ein zweites Jahr und diese Option wird eigentlich fast immer gezogen. Wenn jemand besonders gut war und gefragt war, dann haben wir den nach einem Jahr schon direkt ins Ensemble genommen.
Und den Finger sanft gekrümmt, sanft gekrümmt, leise, leise, leise.
Das Auswahlverfahren ist recht groß angelegt eigentlich. Wir haben jedes Jahr 500 bis 600 Bewerbungen. Die Bewerber müssen uns ihre Repertoirelisten, ihre Lebensläufe schicken, aber vor allem auch Aufnahmen. Und dann gibt es hier am Haus Live-Auditions, Live-Vorsingen, wo der Intendant Bernd Löwe mit dabei ist. Und der ist ja bekannt für sein Händchen für junge Sänger. Und das merkt man natürlich, die Sänger im Opernstudio, die sind dann relativ schnell nahe auch am Ensemble, die werden da aufgenommen und haben dann später auch gute Chancen, ins Ensemble zu kommen.
I think for me, the opera studio has been very important in bridging the gap between being a student in the university setting into transitioning into the professional world. This is why I think for me, the opera studio was very important. I needed to know the business, the ins and out of the business before I even went out in the world and say, I'm gonna go and sing, I'm gonna go and have a career, because I needed to know, I needed the foundation which the opera studio provides. The mentorship the vocal technique info, the stage craft, everything else, the acting on stage, how to move on stage. This is what the opera studio has provided for me. And that's why I think I needed to go through that first before I could jump onto the real world.
So the opera studio is actually for younger people, I would say. We have coaches, we have our own pianists, and then we are getting this chance to actually get sometimes smaller roles. Now I'm going to sing Pamina, which is a big role, which is really a blessing. It's so amazing. So we are getting this opportunity to actually get out there on stage and also to have these wonderful masterclasses.
Dann denke ich auch, was besonders ist die Häufung der Dozenten. Also wir haben in den 15 Jahren eine ganz wunderbare Gruppe an Dozenten. Nils Schickhoff, Edith Wiens, Brigitte Fassbender unter anderem, für Lied manchmal Helmut Deutsch, zusammengefunden. Und ich glaube, alle zusammen findet man nicht immer an anderen Opernhäusern.
Take the third system. That's the... Thank you. Okay. Da-da. The re, right? Mm-hmm. It's never too forward for me, but you don't have enough lift. Yeah. So I'm picking up in the balance front.
Yes.
And I need your front, and I love front, but I gotta have a balance.
Yeah.
And that's not balancing enough. That's not quite lifted enough on your, that's the F. What I do like is to be a mentor to them, because I was a very, not the easiest singer, a nervous singer, and appeared temperamental and difficult. Perhaps I was. And I can identify with what singers go through. As a singer, I was difficult. As a teacher, I'm less difficult. I have more understanding of what goes into the process with the singers. Hang on, that's too dark. Yeah. Too dark. You won't be able to sing all the high notes. It's too dark. Yeah. I know it's at the end of the piece anyway here, and you've done all your big stuff up the top, but still. Yeah. Okay, let's try again. Sounds better. It's better.
It's always like a process. And I learned really good stuff today, actually. We talked about the balance, and that is one issue, I would say, that I found most difficult. So we worked on that a lot today. Yeah, and this information, I will use it like forever, I almost would say. It's like really working on you and yourself and your voice. Yeah.
There's something about giving back what I have been taught. At the end of the day, the stage seems to be the number one teacher. You learn a lot being on stage and learning the craft, pacing, message, how to have an ensemble with other singers, with the orchestra. And it's important to give that to the next generation. I don't like that. I love your D. Hold that longer. I make it hard on you. Hold it longer so you get your... I take it.
I think for me, what I find special about Neil is that he gives me an opportunity to figure things out myself. So he doesn't necessarily just put everything on a silver plate. We see a problem, we both agree there's a problem, and then he asks me, what do you think is the root of this problem, which I appreciate so much, because when he's not around, then I can be able to solve my own problems vocally and technically without having somebody always there. He's teaching me to think for myself and make these decisions for myself, which I really appreciate.
It's pretty, super pretty, but I want more. I want a little more lift. More lift will give you a little more warmth.
Okay.
I think it's just that I love them. They're men and women in the arts, all arts. We're special kind of creatures who are very sensitive. It's right close to the skin, our emotions. You make me cry with that sound. I am not kidding. It's a really hell of a sound. That's a hell of a sound. Okay, let's do it from the beginning on an E. We do it again.
Okay.
To there. You make me cry. I feel really, I feel your sound makes me emotional. It's just an emotional connection, that sound. The other sound is, it's a beautiful sound, but it's not anywhere near as this one. This one has. Okay.
Actually not a normal job. It's a lifestyle. I think you have to more or less dedicate yourself and your life to the singing. Of course, it's always a balance between free time and the job, of course. You cannot job all the time and think all the time about it. You have to be ambitious, I think.
Careers are not easy. There's a lot of, it's not just technique. Some people, I've worked with great singers who block the emotion to a certain extent and work technically. As they get older and more involved in parts, they have to find their life magic and what their story is about personally to project to the public. You have to sacrifice a lot. Some singers handle it better than others, enjoy life better than others. I worked with a famous baritone, bass baritone, Bryn Terfel, and Bryn Terfel had no nerves. Would chit-chat on the side of the stage and walk out and sing fantastic. And I was hidden in the dressing room. We did duet concerts together. And I was hiding. They had to drag me out of the dressing room to get me on stage. Not for him. Not for him.
I'm not completely lost when I get on stage here. I'm not completely frightened and because I'm kind of used to it, but it's definitely not easy. It's a different stage, it's a different audience, it's a different setting on its own. And the pressure of knowing that you are on this huge stage at Opera Frankfurt, one of the most important opera houses in Europe, also adds the stress onto that.
So right now I am at the theater in Opera Frankfurt preparing for the Studio Soirée concert. I'm singing completely new repertoire. So it's repertoire that I've just started a couple of months ago, maybe 2-3 months ago. And it's going to be this is going to be the first time that I sing it in front of people, which is a challenge. The first time you sing something in front of people is always kind of iffy because you never really know whether you're doing it properly and you don't have experience of it. This is the first time I'll be experiencing both areas that I'm going to be singing, which are both, I think, very difficult, very challenging to sing. It's really cool. This is just an evening for us, just for us, which is nice. Yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. Yeah, I feel good though. I feel good. Yeah.
When I sing, I can have that one person that said, you healed me. You made me so happy. Then my job is done. Being able to touch so many people in this one moment, it's just amazing. That's what I love about it. Yeah.